What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today is Saturday, May 17th. Now, today's video, which I typically never make videos on Saturdays unless it's important, and that's regarding this. I have an important dog message about Kraken. Now, I'm going to share with you what's been happening over the past 24 hours, which is breaking news regarding Kraken. And then at the very end of the video, you're going to come up with your own base judgment and predictions on what's going to happen, because I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. But I will give you a call to action. There is something that you must do, that you must listen to at the very end of the video. But before we get into that, we got to understand what's happening within the crypto market. Because as you can see, it's not just dog that's down, but it's the whole entire altcoin market. So let's get right into it. So go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X, and please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. So guys, girls, let's get right into it. Dog Bitcoin is down roughly around 0.95% over the past 24 hours, when as low as negative 10%. So that's a pretty steep decline. Now let's look at Bitcoin's price. Now Bitcoin is only down 0.69%. So why are Dog and other altcoins dipping and Bitcoin's not dipping? Well, mainly because there is Bitcoin dominance returning. We saw this massive retracement from Bitcoin dominance, and now Bitcoin dominance is pumping back up again. That means there's a lot of mind, and especially market share, that's going back to Bitcoin. So how's that affected the ranking of Dog Bitcoin? Well, it hasn't really done much. It's still between 158, I saw this as low as 160, and not too long ago, this was at 155. So it's not a big change in ranking right now. And I think it's actually doing quite well. I mean, yes, it's down 17% over the past like 7 days, but most other altcoins are kind of the same way, 21%, 11%. We have another one at 17%. Over the past 24 hours, yeah, Dog is down 8%, but so is everything else. But this is what you really need to understand, is that right now, the top meme coins by market cap are down $5 billion from yesterday. Yes, yesterday we had a market cap roughly around $75 billion, and it just kind of just disappeared. So if you're wondering what's going on with altcoins, it's because Bitcoin dominance is in play. And this was just updated right now. We're still saying we're in Bitcoin season. We haven't leaned more towards altcoin season just yet. Altcoin season, the way you can see it having confirmation is if we're right around here in the 30 to 40 range, which we're not there just yet. Now let's get right into it, which is about Kraken, okay? So just yesterday, I made a message saying, if you want Kraken to list Dog for spot trading, say GM to Peter. And nonetheless, we have Peter, who is the asset listing principal over at Kraken, say GM to himself, but also we have Bill King, who is part of the growth team over at Kraken as well, saying woof, GM. It doesn't just stop there. Let's go and loop back on May 14th of this year. Today is May 17th. So Dog Brazil made a specific post saying, hey, Arjan. Now, if you don't know who Arjan is, he's actually the co-CEO of Kraken. And this person, Dog Brazil, requested that Dog be listed for spot market on Kraken FX. And Arjan said, looks cool. Not many people paid attention to this. A lot of people missed this. So you remember back on May 8th when one of our representatives from Cryptolution requested that Kraken start listing Dog since it's been over 6 months from perpetual trading launching? Well, guess who commented down below? It was Arjan. Now, Arjan not only responded, Dear Kraken, when available. By the way, that's a really big, important message right there. But he also included my post from yesterday in that specific response. So what does this all mean? So Ordinals made a great point about this, is that breaking, Arjan, who is the CEO of a tier 1 centralized exchange, Kraken, is teasing to a potential Dog spot listing. Now, this is Arjan right here. Now, he's pretty much very active within Kraken and on the news. He's spoken on many different news outlets. He's actually one of the newer CEOs within the team, but he absolutely has a huge presence representing Kraken and also getting people to learn about Kraken and trade within Kraken. Because Kraken right now, because they're based in the US, they are trying to be at the forefront of garnering people into the space from normies into the Web3 space. Now, I want to talk about a specific token, okay? And this involves Arjan. So let's talk about Hype. Now, Hype is a token on Hyperliquid. Now, back on May 16th, this guy named Dawes said, the literal news is shilling Hyperliquid, and Binance still won't list Hype. CZ must have been shaking watching that segment. And then we saw Arthur reply, listing Hype now could be a massive onboarding event right now since there's no tier 1 centralized exchange listing yet. Then we saw Argon say, I agree, especially when they have a precise product market fit. So you know how Argon is responding to these people saying like, you know what, I agree with you. So yesterday he responded with the hype token in one of those comments and retweeted that on his actual page. Now, why is this very important about hype and Hyperliquid? Well, it's mainly if you go to Kraken's asset listing page, which is their roadmap of different tokens, but not just that. Chains, integration of new blockchains. Guess what's in there? Hyperliquid blockchain plus the token itself. So why is this really important to understand? Well, Kraken isn't just about listing tokens. It's also about listing and integrating blockchains. So not too long ago, they integrated Sui. And now you see tokens like Lo-Fi, which is a part of the Sui network, and also Sui Len, aka Sen, is also part of the Sui network. So when they integrate a token, they also have to integrate the blockchain. So the reason you need to understand this is because when Kraken lists DOG for spot trading on their exchange, they're also going to be integrating the Runes protocol. So if you own, say for instance, $1 billion cat, the Magic Internet Money token, aka MIM, or maybe Gizmo, or maybe even the Pups token, this actually is something that you should know and be aware of, is that if they integrate the Runes protocol, DOG is not going to be the only token they're going to be listing. They're going to want to list these other meme coins on the Runes protocol. You know why? Because Kraken wants to tap into Bitcoin's 2+ trillion market cap and market share. They're going to tap into that liquidity pool, which we've been talking about for over a year now. So I want to go back to this one post that I posted back on May 15th, and I wanted to ask about OG General because he proposed about putting roughly around 8.5 million USDT Tether into the first tier 1 exchange that is to list DOG for spot trading. So that was his proposal. So I asked him, are you willing to do it for Kraken exchange? He says 8.5 million is nothing compared to what they'll receive. DOG did over 14 million in volume just within the last 24 hours. He's absolutely right. When Kraken lists DOG, they're going to see more than 8.5 million, more than 14 million, more than 20 million. You're going to see 3-digit numbers within the millions for DOG Bitcoin on Kraken. And the reason that's important is because you have exchange like OKX that has DOG for perpetuals right now, and also Bybit that has DOG for perpetuals right now. They all want to see liquidity and also inflow of trading volume, and that's going to happen when Kraken lists DOG for spot trading. And it's not just that. You also have companies like HTX, KuCoin, and bigger other tier 1s such as Coinbase and also Binance as well that will follow suit along with Crypto.com and Bitfinex. There are so many different things in Upbit that are going to list DOG for spot trading. Now I want to go into charting analysis because I think this is very, very important. Okay, so you saw that massive dip within the past 24 hours with DOG going down roughly around 8 to maybe even 10%. But check this out. So the very first dip that we experienced before we actually had a parabola to 970 million market cap, we had a pullback of a negative 16% pullback. Now look at this first pump over here. Okay, saw a massive pump to the upside. Then we dumped negative 31%. Then we pumped again and then even dumped harder, negative 48%. Then we pumped even more and saw a pullback, a retracement of negative 31% before we saw that new all-time high of 999 million market cap. Just shy. 1 million shy of $1 billion market cap. Now you're over here at negative 16% pullback. Now, why is that very important? Now, you may have noticed that this pullback right now is hitting, believe it or not, the 20-day moving average line, right on the precipice of it, okay? Now, the reason I bring this up is because if we look back over here, it could be a support level. Now, when we saw DOG's price pump above this orange line, which I'll share with you right here, you see the DOG price is right above the orange line, and then it tapped it right there, and then it pumped back up again, and then it tapped it but broke through it. But we also went back up, and the price of DOG then again went above the 20-day moving average, aka the orange line. You're seeing the exact same thing happen here, where the 20-day moving average is hitting the price of DOG in this retracement. It is perfectly timed. It is perfectly normal. And if it dips below, we could see something like this, right? That's why I created these different bar patterns right here where it could dip below, only to return back up. And anything could happen at this very moment. Look at the MACD. You're seeing that now the blue line is crossing the orange line, and you're seeing these red bars right here, but it's very weak in my personal opinion. It's looking something very similar to this, but it doesn't just end there. If you look over here, the upside for DOG hasn't ended yet. We still have something closer to this where the MACD and the price of DOG could reach up in these levels right here. You see these large green histogram bars? That's a massive buying pressure. We're not seeing it just yet, and it could return there. And you can see the top happen right over here and surpassed $1 billion. Even on the weekly time frame, you're still seeing that this red bar right here, this red candle bar, is an engulfing candle of a red bearish trend, but it does not mean that we are experiencing a bearish trend. We're still in a buyer's market, ladies and gentlemen. This pullback is necessary. We need to have pullbacks like this in order to see the next leg up for dog Bitcoin. Now, look at these red candles right here. The red candles occur when there's going to be a green candle followed after, okay? Look at these red candles over here, followed by a green candle after. Now, this candle right here could be one of 2 or 3 candles on the weekly basis. So we could maybe experience another week of bearish trend, who knows, before we see the next leg up. But I will tell you straight up, this is manipulation. This is market makers, not just manipulating dog Bitcoin, but the whole altcoin market. They want you to liquidize your position and sell your bags so that the price can pump with those native assets such as dog Bitcoin, so that you have to buy back in at a higher price point. This is why retail gets shaken out and why whales and also big institutions never get shaken out. They can hodl through the storm. That's why they call it a storm. But now here's your call to action while we get close to the very end of the video. The call to action is not just saying when listing Kraken or when Kraken are we going to get a dog spot listing. Everybody within every meme coin says that. And that is not enough. You also have to show that you're willing to support Kraken. And the best way to do that is if you live within the United States, or if you can sign up for an account on Kraken, is to open an account on Kraken and deposit funds. It could be $10, it could be $100, $1,000, even $100,000 for that matter, even more, like OG General. 8.5 million USDT. Have your funds on Kraken and post these specific images proving that you have an account with Kraken, that you have funds ready to deploy and buy dog when spot listing is live on Kraken. Here's a great example. We had Derek not too long ago post and say, I just opened an account in anticipation for dog of Bitcoin. He said, I started a small bank transfer and I'm ready to buy once you list. This is what you need to do on top of saying when listing. When Kraken are you going to spot list dog? On top of that, you also have to share screenshots, because everybody is always asking Kraken in every other exchange, when this, when that. But these people don't do anything other than say, make me rich. No, you have to step in and open an account and be a part of the army. The dog army is different from any other meme coin, okay? We're not just looking for a pump and dump. No. We're looking for a free and fair movement. Kraken FX, aka Kraken Exchange, is supporting the free and fair movement. And that's exactly what you need to do. So here's some words of wisdom. And this is a message I was told to share with the dog army from one of the Kraken FX team. And that is this: let's make some noise. So that's what you need to do. The noise that you need to make is not just saying when dog spot listing and tagging team members from the Kraken team, but also opening an account, sharing your screenshots, getting other people to sign up, and saying, I'm ready to deploy capital once dog is listed for spot trading. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to share that important dog message about Kraken to you guys and girls out there around the world. It's happening. This is happening right now as we speak, and you need to pay attention and show up every single day and make some noise about what I just told you. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to get more updates, and by the way, by supporting this channel, by making the content that I do, I need you to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog on Moon. Till then, see you guys girls Monday.